New Marvel Legends classic Luke Cage Power Man figure from Hasbro, Masters of the Universe Origins Snake Mountain playset, Biker Mice from Mars, and a whole lot more. So let's jump right into it. You action figure enthusiasts out there, JC here, and welcome to a Friday edition of TNInews. Now let's start off with an update to a story I told you about on Wednesday. It's in regards to those 6-inch Indiana Jones Adventure Series figures. The Indy from the map room, from the first Raiders of the Lost Ark movie, and then from the Last Crusade, the Kazim figure. So basically the update here is both of these figures are going to be released as Target store exclusives. I don't believe I mentioned that in Wednesday's video. These do not look like they're going to get an actual pre-order. They will just be available at some later time. We don't really have a specific date on when these are going to be released, but again, sometime this year. And again, they will be Target store exclusives. If you're a fan of Biker Mice from Mars, we've got our first look at the new figures coming from the Nacelle company. So these figures were featured on the cover of the new Toy Collector magazine, which costs you about $15 an issue. There's no details about the scale of these, but I'm guessing they're going to be the same scale as the Sectar figures that Nacelle is doing, which are 7-inch scale. And if they're priced similar to those figures, then they're probably going to cost you around $40. But you can see here, again, this is our first look at the Biker Mice from Mars. And when more details become available on these, I'll be sure to let you guys know. Following up on another story I first told you about on Wednesday, we have the official images for those two new MAFEX figures, the new Dark Knight Returns Batman with horse, and then the T2 Terminator endoskeleton figure. So with the Batman figure, that one's going to cost you about $165. The horse stands about 9.8 inches tall. The figure's about 6.3 inches tall. You're going to get a number of accessories, including alternate face sculpts, a bloody torso piece, alternate mask piece, and batarang piece, and then a saddle piece for the horse. And then the second figure, the T2 Terminator endoskeleton figure, that one is going to cost you about $140, and that one's going to come with a blaster rifle. And both of these figures are slated for release in February, and both of these figures are now available for pre-order now at places like our sponsors, Big Bad Toy Store. Mezco, as part of their weekly virtual toy fair reveal, showed off a couple of new products yesterday. So they are going to be doing new Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle figures as part of their 5-point line. So these, they're doing the 4 turtles. They're, of course, also doing 112 collective versions of the turtles. Really no other details on any of these, just these preview images. We're also going to be getting the Shadow. So a 112 collective figure of the Shadow. And then finally, they teased another Marvel figure, another Wolverine figure. This one, Wolverine wearing one of those yellow and blue X-Men outfits. So taking a page from Hasbro and giving us Wolverine in this costume. So again, just the preview images, no other details. But when more information becomes available, of course, I'll be sure to let you guys know. Now, if you've been collecting Hasbro's NBA starting lineup action figure line, you can now get a basketball goal, backboard and goal accessory set. Now, this is something they actually had shown when they started first teasing this line. It actually seemed like this was going to be included with the figures when they first started to preview these NBA figures, but unfortunately they did not include the basketball goal with the actual figures, but you can buy it separately. This is available for pre-order now at places like our sponsors, Big Bad Toy Store. The cost of it is about $26. Hasbro has also shown off another one of their Dungeons & Dragons 6-inch scale Golden Archive figures. This is a deluxe figure, so the first deluxe figure in this line. It is of the character Owlbear. Now, this image comes via the toy book. So this figure is going to cost you about $45 and is supposed to be out later this year. Also from the toy book, we got our first look at a new Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle figure from the Loyal Subjects. So it's not clear if this is going to be part of their BST AXN line or something different. In the toy book article, it had listed some other figures that we had already seen for the BST AXN line, and it actually mentioned those figures as being part of that line, whereas this was not. There was no mention of it being part of the BST AXN line. It might be, but it's not clear whether it is or not. There was also no mention of, the scale of this figure, but it is of Raphael, and he's going to come with a motorcycle. There will also be a Leonardo with a motorcycle figure coming that was mentioned, but no images. The bikes will be the same color as the Turtles bandana, so this one being red, and the Leonardo one will have a blue bike. The figures are said to have about 31 points of articulation, 2 different head sculpts, multiple pairs of hands, and their signature weapons. And the cost of these are going to be $49.99. And then the final thing that we got to look at from the toy book was that Masters of the Universe Origins Snake Mountain playset. So this looks like it's a more finalized version than what we had previously seen. The colors are much more in keeping with the original playset. And according to the toy book, this is going to cost, the retail price of this is going to be $79.99, and it will be out later this year, either late summer or early fall. Mondo has teased their upcoming Masters of the Universe 1/6 scale Trapjaw figure with this new image, and this figure will be going up for pre-order on the Mondo website starting on March 7th. And then finally, for Masters of the Universe, some bad news. It looks like the CGI Netflix series will not be renewed for a new season. We were talking about this last night in my live stream, but this information comes via Amanda Dibert, which is one of the screenwriters from the series, and she had posted on social media that the show was not picked up for another season. On the McFarlane Toys front, we got the official images for those Titan figures that have gone up for pre-order now everywhere. Of course, Amazon once again jumped the gun last night, which is where we got our first look at these. But again, we now have the official images. The figures in this wave include Donna Troy, along with Nightwing, which does not have his signature weapons. We've got Arsenal and Raven. And then, of course, the Build-A-Figure in this wave is that giant-sized Beast Boy figure. And as I've mentioned before, there have been listings for a gold label Beast Boy, which means it'll be a store exclusive somewhere. And because that was not listed as a mega figure, it stands to reason that that will be a normal size version of Beast Boy. But that has not been officially confirmed by McFarlane. We might see that next week during their winter showcase, which kicks off on February 2nd. We definitely should be seeing some new reveals and new pre-orders next week. For you Godzilla fans, here's a look at Hiya Toys' next King of Monsters figure. It's King Ghidorah, and this has not yet gone up for pre-order anywhere, but likely will soon. But again, we have some new images that I want to go on and share with you today. And then finally for today, we got a new Marvel Legend reveal. It's of a classic Luke Cage Power Man figure. So we haven't seen this version of Luke Cage since the Toy Biz days. Now, Hasbro just said that this figure will go up for pre-order later this year, but they didn't give any specific details. This possibly will be part of a new Marvel Knights wave that we've seen listings for. Well, we've seen that there is a Marvel Knight wave coming, but we haven't seen specific figure listings for it yet. So, it's unknown if this will be part of that wave, and if it is, we don't know what other figures will be included in the wave. However, don't forget, next week on March 1st will be another Marvel Legends live stream. So probably a good bet that we'll get more information on this figure, and if it is part of that Marvel Knight wave, we'll probably see the other figures in the wave as well. I don't know how much new stuff they're going to show off next week, but they've kind of been touting it as, their Toy Fair. This is kind of the equivalent of their Toy Fair reveals, which usually Toy Fair is in February, and this live stream will be on March 1st. So hopefully we'll get some pretty cool reveals next week. And of course, we'll have full coverage of all of that over on Marvelous News. Okay, so that's it for today. As always, I'd love to hear your thoughts on everything I talked about down in the comments section below. Like this video if you're so inclined, and if you're new to the channel, please think about subscribing and hitting that bell notification so you're alerted every time I upload a new video. As always, guys, stay safe out there, have a great weekend, and until next time, I'll catch you later. Hey, thanks for watching today's video, and be sure to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and hit that bell notification so you're alerted every time I upload a new video. And be sure to head over to the Toy News International and Marvelous News Message Boards communities. It's a great place to talk toys and win cool contests like $100 store credits to Big Bad Toy Store. And remember, action figures are great.